Hi, my name is ZaKaiRan, and welcome to another one of my outrageously amazing, insanely enlightening master keys of creation about how to be the unlimited master of creation that you truly are, to easily create and attract the joy, well-being, abundance, and freedom that you desire, and literally make all your dreams come true. And you'll find tons more self-empowering goodies to help you become a conscious, deliberate creator of reality on my website at ZaKaiRan.com. And of course, tons of amazing podcasts on my podcast channel and YouTube channel, The Master Keys of Creation. All right, so here we go. Codependence is not love. So in case you haven't figured it out yet, the reason so many people are in unhappy relationships, and so many relationships end in heartbreak, resentment, drama, etc., it's because most relationships are built upon a codependent agreement to try and accomplish an absolutely impossible thing, which is to keep your partner, lover, girlfriend, boyfriend, non-binary, intimate friend happy, which is the absolute definition of codependence and is a very disempowering way to live, because you don't actually have any control over how other people feel and how they think, and you don't have any control over the ability to make somebody happy. And these unsatisfactory relationships and dramatic endings are because codependence is not what people really want. What they really want is unconditional love. But most people don't really know what unconditional love really is, and how to attract it, and how to give it, how to be it. Because humans are taught romantic codependence by society. They're not taught how to be an unconditional liver and lover, which is basically the goal of enlightenment. And even if they did know what unconditional love was, they wouldn't know how to create it in their lives. Because in order to create something in your life, you must become that thing that you desire to be, do, and have in your life in order to attract it. You must become a vibrational match to what you want. The classic romantic marriage vow to love your partner for richer or poorer, sicker or healthy, and vowing to spend your entire life dedicated to making them happy is not, I repeat, not unconditional love. That is codependence. And it's not even possible because it is not possible to look at unwanted things and situations and be happy. And it's not possible to assert happiness upon another person. Everyone, every single person is responsible for their own happiness, not anybody else's. You can influence other people's happiness by acting nicely and being generous, etc., but that is as far as your power extends. You can influence people, but you can't control them. But as anyone with a few years under their belt knows, that even the nicest gestures can be rejected or misunderstood. Or they might not have, that other person might not have the ability to receive your goodness because they don't really love themselves very much. And they don't know how to create their reality. They don't know how to focus on good things to attract good things. Unconditional love is not the ability to love someone even if they are acting like a royal dickhead, or they are sick in the head, or they're an inconsiderate, disrespectful douchebag. Because again, you can't look at unwanted, unlikable behavior and still feel good. Unconditional love is instead the masterful ability to not let external conditions determine how you're going to feel, not letting other people's stuff determine how you're going to feel. And it is the ability to make feeling good your number one priority in life, which means not even looking at unlovable things, not even paying attention to your partner, lover, friend that's going off their nut. Unconditional love is really being completely selfish and focusing on your own happiness above all things, above all everybody else's happiness, because that's your happiness is the only thing you have any creative control of in life, contrary to what humans believe, that they have some sort of control over other people's behavior. So, in the case of the royal dickhead, the royal shrew, you don't let their behavior decide that you are going to feel bad because of it. And you pay little or no attention to their unwanted behavior, and instead, you focus your attention upon other things entirely, upon other people and situations that are easy. I overemphasize, I double secret emphasize easy to like, love, and appreciate. You do as Yeshua ben Joseph, aka Jesus, said to do, and you turn your cheek away from the crappy stuff and focus on the fun stuff. That really means turn your ass towards what you don't like and get the fuck out of there. So, if you are mastering unconditional love and prioritizing your own happiness over other people's happiness that you have no control over, if you happen to attract someone acting in unpleasant manners, you will make yourself scarce to treat. You're going to remove yourself from the battlefield so you don't get hit by shrapnel. And you'll make sure you get into alignment with joy, well-being, and abundance so that you don't attract similar situations in the future by doing your morning hour of power, which are your alignment exercises, which, of course, I talk about incessantly, in order to prepave your day. And when unwanted contrast does pop up during the day, you use those alignment techniques to get happy and get back into alignment. So if you get off track a little bit, no big deal, because you've got the tools to get yourself back into alignment. So anytime someone is acting in aggressive, unreasonable, undesirable ways, our natural response is to get the hell out of there. But we are taught by society, and especially our lovers and our parents, to stay and take our punishment like good little children and like good committed partners who really should be committed for doing that, who have vowed to love our partners even if they are acting like freaking lunatics. Women are taught to put up with unreasonable behavior from men, and in the old days, even physical abuse, and men are taught to put up with unreasonable emotional behavior from women and be tough and take their punishment, so to speak, like a committed partner. Because if you leave the battlefield, well, you're not committed. But putting up with unreasonable, unlikable, unlovable, and unwanted behavior is not being committed and is not being unconditionally loving. It's being self-abusive. Bum, 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 mic drop. Yeah, you got it right. It's being self-abusive. When problems arise and fights ensue, leaving the battlefield, which is the recommended course of action, is not, contrary to what people believe, being uncommitted to the relationship. It is being committed to feeling good, which is the best thing that you can do for yourself and the best thing that you can do for any relationship. Because staying on the battlefield and attempting to work out problems and duke it out because you're committed to the relationship does not solve anything. Because you cannot solve solutions when you are focused on the problem and banging the drum of the problem and fighting about the problem and duking it out about the problem. You can't get what you want when you are focused on what you don't want. It's completely contrary to the law of attraction. It is much more gentle and efficient on both parties and any collateral damage in the area, such as children, it is more gentle and efficient on everyone to leave the battlefield and let the solutions come to you. Yeah, you got it right. Let the solutions come to you rather than trying to fight to create and manipulate and control some sort of solution out of it. Rather than trying to tackle your problems and vanquish your problem as if there's some sort of Nazi enemy that you've got to destroy. If you focus on problems and enemies, you only attract more problems and enemies that you must fight and kill and be smart and try to, destroy and be clever, etc. And then solutions cannot come to you because you are not a vibrational match to solutions. You are only a vibrational match to problems. You can't get into alignment with what you want and attract what you want by getting rid of what you don't want, which is what fights are always about. It's what wars are all about. Trying to kill off what you don't like, which does not work because you just attract more things that you don't like that you've got to get rid of, that you've got to kill. It's much better, more efficient, more fun to get into alignment with what you want. Then there's nothing to fight about. Because remember, it's get happy. This is always my number one master key of creation and master key of fun. It's get happy to attract happy things. It is not manipulate and control and fight and kill for what you want so that you can be happy. It's not fight and kill and destroy what you don't want so that you can be happy. It is get happy to attract happy things. So in regards to therapy and talking about issues and problems, you only want to talk about problems, so to speak, which are always about things that you don't want and don't like. You want to talk about those things for about 10 seconds max. Then you want to pivot immediately towards what you do want, even though what you want is not here yet. You got to go, okay, I'm very clear about what I don't want, or we are very clear about what we don't want here, correct? Let's now focus on what we do want. I'm going to now focus on what I do want. You want to use what you don't like and don't want merely as clarity to be clear about what you do want. So you can now focus on that solution and leave the problem behind. That is an absolute master key. You got to leave the problem behind and let the solution come to you. Because Source is always going to provide the solution. The solution is instantly available to you as soon as you have a problem. As soon as you encounter unwanted things, the solution is naturally there because you naturally desire solutions. And your source, your own source, instantly creates those solutions to you vibrationally. And then you've got to channel it for yourself, so to speak. You got to receive it. It's ask and receive, ask and receive. Now, what about men and women and talking? Trying to figure out problems, so to speak. Talking about your family issues. Talking about your child issues. So, women love talking about their problems with each other. They like talking about their problems in general, but, they even get a healthy oxytocin hormonal boost when they chat with their girlfriends, especially if the chat is more positive in nature and not just a bitch fest. Oxytocin is the healthy hormone for women, and your bodies produce oxytocin when you do girl stuff, when you go, when you chat with your girlfriends and you do self-nurturing girl things. Like getting a manicure, getting your hair done, going to the spa, getting a massage, going shopping. When a woman is happy, her oxytocin levels are high. When she is unhappy and cranky, and more than likely, her oxytocin levels are depleted because she has been nurturing everybody else, nurturing the children, nurturing her friends, nurturing her partners, but not nurturing herself. And not receiving any recognition from all the people that she's nurturing. Because we all know they're all ungrateful bastards. Because when you get recognition, it builds, for women, it builds your oxytocin levels. When you get recognition as a male, it builds your testosterone levels. And talking, especially to your girlfriends, is self-nurturing to a woman. But for men, it's a whole nother ballgame. And it's pretty obvious because when you... because men, especially talking about problems, is not very self-nurturing. In fact, talking about problems lowers a man's testosterone levels. And the lower their testosterone level gets, the more drained in energy they get. And then they feel powerless and impotent because they are low in testosterone and they get cranky and angry. What builds testosterone is focusing on solutions. That's why men like to conquer shit and get things done. They like to create a plan and go on the battlefield, so to speak, and get it done. That's why men like to talk about, doing cool stuff and their team and sports, etc. Because accomplishing stuff and again, making plans and winning increases their testosterone levels. As does resting. That's why men like to rest as soon as they get home, because their testosterone levels have plummeted. And watch the game, as well as having sex. And, of course, same for women. Women get oxytocin boosts when they have sex, and men get testosterone boosts when they have sex. So for women, it's self-nurturing and having sex that increases their oxytocin levels. So anytime a woman is cranky and angry, her oxytocin level is down. Anytime a man is cranky and angry, his testosterone level is down. And when you force your man to go toe-to-toe with you to prove how committed he is to the relationship and how committed he is to working out problems, every word uttered lowers his testosterone level more and more until he becomes a beaten, powerless pile of flesh and either surrenders to your will, lets you control him because he's beat to hell, or he gets the hell off of the battlefield, or in extreme cases, he fights the enemy that is draining his energy, which is why women get bashed. Women are designed to talk about their issues, but primarily with each other. That's why when you see tribes in Africa or whatever, men are doing men things, women are doing women things. Indigenous tribes understand this, which is why the genders hang out with each other. The males hang out with the women, and they go do women's stuff, and the guys hang out with guy stuff and do guy stuff. And this is very healthy for their respectful hormones. The boys do boy stuff, the girls do girl stuff, and then when it's time to get together to do stuff together, well, then they do that. So ladies, do not try to talk to your man after he has just done a big-ass long day at work where he has probably received zero recognition for his commitment to the job and his commitment to his family to bring home the bacon, because his testosterone levels are depleted from all of this stuff, probably a lot of stuff he doesn't really want to do. And of course, like I said, he hasn't received any recognition, which would have boosted his testosterone levels. And he comes home all drained of testosterone, but then you want to talk about your day and you want to try and solve family problems. Well, bad timing, ladies. Let him rest in front of the football game until his testosterone levels get back up before you try and talk to him, especially about problems. So, of course, he's going to be happy to talk about nice stuff. Everybody's happy to talk about nice stuff. Nobody fucking wants to talk about problems. Because otherwise, your desperate need to talk to increase your drained oxytocin levels will only drain his already depleted testosterone levels and make him Mr. Cranky Puss, which you don't want. It's not just happy wife, happy life. It's happy hubby, happy life. So, if you absolutely must approach some issue, only mention it casually. Or say, hey, need to talk about something. Let me know when's a good time to talk about it. Then leave it alone. Otherwise, he'll start to fade from draining testosterone. And it's pretty obvious as soon as his attention wavers, he's just zoning out or he's thinking about something else. So leave that issue alone for now. Men are not designed to talk about problems. The man's solution, the solution to the way men create solutions is to leave the problem alone and go to the man cave or go fishing or play golf or watch the game or hang out with his buddies. And then the solution will come. Just watch men talk about their problems. I mean, they talk for about 5 minutes. Then they leave it alone and talk about absolutely frivolous things like the game and football players, etc. They talk about, you know. Then they may swing back to the issue later on, you know, when there's a break, but only briefly. And as soon as they feel like they're talking too much, well, then they shut up and focus on something else. The man way to deal with problems is, in a sense, leave the problem alone, let a solution take care of itself. Let the solutions come naturally. That's the healthy man way to deal with unwanted issues. Of course, there's the classic dysfunctional pattern, which is to drink, take drugs, engage in lengthy manly activities, to avoid and deny the problem. So the trick is to leave problems alone and let solutions come, rather than deny problems entirely, thusly blocking solutions from coming, or not acting when the solution is clear. Whereas women are more hormonally designed to talk about problems to arrive at solutions. Again, just as long as you're focusing on actually coming up with a solution and not just having a bitch moan fest, which is the classic trap that women and everyone, for that matter, males included, fall into, which is banging the drum on and on and on and on about the problem. Banging the drum on and on and on about unwanted things and trying to destroy the problems and try to destroy unwanted things, so that now that the unwanted thing has been killed and destroyed, now what you want will be left. But that does not work. That is a faulty game plan. Solutions can only come when you focus on solutions, not problems. So, ladies, if your oxytocin levels are low and you need to talk, call a friend. Don't drill your husband. Talk to him about issues that need addressing after he has rested and is happy and his testo levels are back up, like on the weekend after he's had some play, after he's had some fun. And men, say to your lady, hey, I'm happy to talk about that later when I have rested and my testosterone levels are back up. Until then, I just need to chill. When women's oxytocin levels are low, they struggle to shut down their brains because women have a stronger connection between their left and right hemispheres, whereas men can turn off one side of the brain. That's how we can zone out and be dorkheads, because we can shut off one side of our brain. So it was designed that way, you know, so we could be out in the battlefield, so to speak, be out there hunting and chill, but then instantly be able to react when the prey goes by, so to speak. So, because of that stronger connection between the left and right hemispheres, women struggle to shut down their brains from thinking a mile a minute, especially if their oxytocin levels are down. They're trying to do a million things a minute. The classic, thing, multitasking. So when that happens, it's time to eat something, which is another female sign of low oxytocin levels, because she's been so busy thinking and trying to straighten everything out in the world that she has not eaten a thing. And then, of course, she needs to go do some girly stuff. You can read all about the whole male-female hormonal thing in Dr. John Gray's amazing book, Venus on Fire and Mars on Ice. And when you understand these hormonal keys, you can nurture each other's hormones, thusly nurturing each other's happiness, especially by looking after your own healthy hormone levels. But you're able to spot it when your partner is hormonally depleted and needs to go to the spa or needs to go fishing. And you just tell them to bloody do that. Point is, it is not unconditional love and being committed to the relationship if you believe you must dig in and try to fix problems and get to the bottom of the issues, and especially if you believe the other partner must alter their behavior so that you can be happier and so the relationship can be better. Because it's no one else's job to make anyone else happy. It's no one's job to make anybody happy. It's not anybody else's job to make you happy, and it's not your job to make anybody else happy. It's not your job to make your lover happy, and it's not their job to make you happy. It's not your job to make your parents happy, and it's not their job to make you happy. It's not your children's job to make you happy, and it's not your job to make your children happy, especially because it's impossible to do so. There's no such thing as assertion on planet Earth. There's only attraction. So you cannot assert joy and love upon another person any more than you can assert a lack of joy or any other emotion upon anyone else. It is your responsibility alone to make yourself happy by thinking good feeling thoughts and focusing on good feeling things. That is the true definition of unconditional love, where you are happy unconditionally because you don't need external conditions to be certain ways for you to be happy. Unconditional love is not, I'll love you even if you're acting like an asshole. It's, I'm going to be happy regardless of what you do or don't do. And because my happiness is the most important thing in the entire universe, if you're acting like a royal dickhead, well, it's a sure bet that I'm going to make myself scarce. I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge. I'm going to get off the battlefield so I don't get hit by shrapnel. In other words, your happiness or unhappiness does not affect my unhappiness. So wait, let me say that again. Your happiness or unhappiness does not affect my happiness. Doesn't make me unhappy either, because I am in control of my happiness, because I have no control over your happiness, and you don't have any control over mine. Only I have control over my happiness. So it's not possible to look at unlikable, unwanted things, people, and situations and be happy. I said it again, and I've said it a million times. The only way to be happy is to focus on likable, lovable, and wanted things. So when someone is going off their nut, as they love to say in Australia, the only solution is to skip town. Because you want to feel good. So you got to go somewhere else, or at least you got to put your attention somewhere else that feels good to think about and focus upon. Trying to love an unlovable person because they are acting like a royal twat is impossible, because your own source self, Your own God, Goddess, divine self is not ever focused on unwanted things or people. Or to be more accurate, your source only sees the pure, unconditional love within every person. If your partner is acting like a dirtbag, your source does not even see that. It only sees their love and joy that is behind that dirtbag mask. And you have that same ability to always see behind the mask of every individual, no matter how much of a jerkwad they are acting like. But that takes some serious inner work and mastery. And until you have done that inner work, and you're able to focus on feeling good above all things, and you don't let other people and what they're doing affect your happiness or unhappiness. Until that happens, I recommend 100% getting away from unwanted people and situations. Until that is, you no longer attract them. Because you spend every morning pre-paving and preparing your vibration and getting into alignment with love and joy and well-being and abundance. And then, of course, you create that in your life, and you don't even encounter those people that are royal jerkwads, because it's much easier to spend a bit of time every morning and even throughout your day for a few minutes here and there, focusing on what you like, what you want, what's easy to like, love, and appreciate, and thusly attracting those beautiful things to you, attracting those desires to you, rather than just do what most people do, which is reacting to unwanted things and then having to constantly get into alignment again with what you want. Or simply put, it's better to not attract problems in the first place than constantly having to put out brush fires of things you don't want and then trying to, again, get yourself back into alignment. The point is, always focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. I'm not saying deny and avoid your problems. I'm saying use your problems to direct you to solutions. Because any unwanted situation that you have in your life, the solution is always immediately available. All you have to do is ask and then receive, just like the Bible said. And anytime you encounter an unwanted issue, you are immediately asking for its opposite solution. And your own source instantly focuses on and creates that solution vibrationally. It creates your desire in vibrational reality. So anytime you ask for anything, your wish is immediately granted by your own source in source vibrational reality. Every desire that you have, your own source becomes that desire, becomes your solution. And it focuses 100% on that solution because it's already become it. Does not focus on the unwanted problem that inspired the solution, because it is not the problem. That would be focusing on the past. Source never, ever focuses on the past. That would be illogical. It only focuses on your future, so to speak, which is actually the present from your own source's perspective, because it has already become and is already living that solution, that desire. So if you're going toe-to-toe with your partner, or anyone else for that matter, even if you're just thinking about somebody that, you've got a drama with, or you're imagining some sort of drama, and you're battling it out about some seemingly insurmountable problem, and shooting arrows of blame and playing the victim game and trying to win the battle to prove how right you are and how wrong the other person is, well, you got to ask yourself, do I want to be right? Do I want to beat my enemy into submission, which is basically the energetic position when two partners, two lovers, supposed lovers, are battling it out? You're trying to defeat the enemy. So ask yourself, do I want to be right, or do I want to feel good? Do I want to win this war, or do I want to feel good? Because nobody ever wins a fight, ever. Both people lose. And the only reason you're fighting in the first place is to get what you want. So you can feel better. The only reason you want to win is so that you can get what you want, because you believe that when you get what you want, you're going to feel good. You're going to be happy. And even if you win the argument, even if your rightness army is superior and you beat your enemy into submission, you beat your partner, your lover, your friend, your coworker, your boss into submission, you will not feel good, because your enemy, aka your partner, lover, friend, etc., is not happy. Because again, there are no winners in any battle. Soldiers do not feel good when they kill the enemy. Nobody enjoys murdering another person. Lovers do not feel good, metaphorically, killing their partners with emotional bullets and winning the fight. A much wiser course of action is to not enter the battlefield in the first place. Better course of action is for each individual to go away on their own and meditate. Put their attention completely on other things entirely. Because, yeah, of course, if you can focus on what you want, great. If you've done enough alignment techniques where you can pivot and go, hey, yeah, I've got some great clarity here on what I don't want. Now, what do I want? If you can do that, great. If you can't, because the things, the big battle is still in your head, you're still having post-traumatic syndrome, it's going to be hard for you to just pivot to what you want. So then you got to focus on other things. Completely, there's nothing to do with the fight, nothing to do with the problem. Focus on anything that's easy to like, love, and appreciate, so you can build up your vibration. Then you'll be able to receive the solution. So, you don't want to try and fight to get what you want. You can't get what you want fighting for it or fighting against what you don't want. That just creates more things to fight about and more things to resent your partner about. The key factor is, of course, attraction. It always is. Everyone must take 100% responsibility for what they are creating and attracting in their lives based on how they have been thinking. If someone is acting like a royal pain in the derriere, you are not responsible for their behavior, but you are responsible for attracting them, and their behavior based on how you have been previously thinking, which obviously was upon unwanted things that are similar in vibration to this situation, because how it works is thinking creates vibration. Vibration creates feelings. If you're thinking about unwanted things, you're vibrating unwanted things, you feel bad, then you attract unwanted things. So, it is then not your job to try and change the other person so that you can be happier. It is your job to get happy regardless of their behavior, to attract better behavior from better people. The point is, don't try and change external reality and people so that you can be happy with those improved conditions, which is how humans try to live. Instead, get happy so that you attract happy conditions that vibrationally match your happiness. Trying to get to the bottom of issues is never healthy. It is never a healthy or beneficial thing to do, because there is no bottom. The deeper you dig, the deeper the hole gets, until you've dug so deep that you can't get yourself out. Trying to get to the bottom of issues and trying to find the cause of problems does not prove how committed you are to the relationship or prove how committed you are to growing, etc. It only proves how uneducated you are about unconditional love and how ignorant you are about how the law of attraction works. It only proves that you are addicted to drama and being right more than feeling good, which is what everyone really wants. And the reason you want anything is to feel good. And you can't and won't ever feel good fighting for or against what you want, even if you're really good at it and you win every time. You may experience the fleeting joy of conquering your enemy and being the champion and now feel in control, but that is a shallow, pale victory that only proves how insecure you are. That's right, another mic drop. And how addicted you are to winning, to feel good about yourself. I'll repeat that because it's a really, really good point. If you're addicted to winning and controlling and being, in control of this, that, and everything, well, that, even if you win every time, even if you train yourself to be the absolute champion of the universe, well, every time you win, those are all just pale victories that don't prove how awesome you are. They just prove how insecure you are and how addicted you are to winning more than feeling good. Plus, when you win, one of you or both of you have had to compromise and surrender to an overwhelming force, which just creates resentment. Then your partner, then your friend, then your boss, then your worker, whatever, just resents the shit out of you. Compromise is not healthy and ultimately destroys relationships because eventually one or both parties will just get tired of making concessions to make the other person happy at the expense of their own happiness. The only truly healthy relationship and healthy interaction in any situation is a win-win, where both parties get what they want, which often means going your separate ways. It often means doing separate things from your partner. But especially where both parties focus on their own happiness and not making what you do or don't do together be the source of your happiness. That's just a false codependent kind of romance, which isn't really romantic at all. Which means most of the time you mind your own business and you let your partner and other people dig their own graves without your judgment and without your disapproval. That especially includes your children, which means not being a smother who is constantly on guard and constantly trying to protect your children from making mistakes and experiencing emotional pain. The only way to learn anything is through experience. Doesn't mean that they have to experience pain, but experience and pain and playing the games of contrast and unwanted things, there's gonna be some pain there. Your children learn nothing from your supposed guidance and advice, and certainly learn nothing from your fearful, paranoid, protective actions, which just feel like you're a prison warden, not a mother or a father who's trying to protect them. Let your children, like everybody else on planet Earth, live their own lives without your fearful interference and without your judgment and beliefs that they are supposed to act certain ways to keep you happy. Do not make the mistakes they make be any big deal. Suspend all judgment and condemnation. They're just children. They're just teenagers. They're just growing up. They're going to fuck up. Let them fuck up. Let them learn from their mistakes. Let them gain their own wisdom from making their own choices. How will they know what good choices are until they make bad ones? Let go of your fears that they will make bad mistakes, which always feels bad to think about, and actually influences them to make bad mistakes. That's right. You can't control them with your fear or protect them with your love, but you certainly can influence their behavior to even make bad choices because you're focusing on them making bad choices. Law of attraction is going to rearrange itself to accommodate your picture of reality. So instead, know that their own source is guiding each one of them to joy, love, well-being, and abundance. And they all have their own self-guidance system called joy that is guiding them to all the wonderful things that they desire. And it is beneficial to get off course now and again. Understand that it's all right for your children and everybody else on planet Earth, and you included, to get off course now and again, because it gives you clarity about what you don't like and don't want. It gives you clarity about what feels bad, so that you can have clarity about what you do want that feels good. But if you decide that you are the judge, jury, and executioner of bad choices, well, your children and other people around you can, if you decide that, everybody's got to act in certain ways so that you can be happy, well, people around you can do nothing except make bad choices, because the bad choices are the reality that you are focused upon. And those people will be puzzled why they can't seem to make any good choices around you. They try to make good choices, but they just keep fucking up. That's because they are just the universe rearranging itself to match your reality. You're influencing them. And they will quickly decide to get away from you and your influence and avoid you at all costs and tell you nothing about their lives because you are a liability in their life and no fun at all to be around. That's the classic teen situation where the parent scrutinizes their children's every move and try to guard and protect them from pain and suffering and bad choices, which just feels terrible to be around. Hence why these teens can't get far enough away from you and their judgmental parents, and are embarrassed by their parents because their parents seem actually unevolved because of those kind of unenlightened actions. It is not children's jobs to make their parents happy, and it's not the parents' job to make their kids happy. And you soon learn that it is an impossible task when you do what you believe is the most awesome thing in the universe that would absolutely guarantee happiness in your child, and they throw a tantrum instead because that's not what they really wanted. And you screwed up because you're not psychic and you didn't know every minute detail of what they want that would send them into pure ecstasy. And of course, it's your job as the parent to try to make them happy, or at least so they think, because you've trained them that way. The point is, and always is, no one has the power to make anyone else happy or unhappy. It's each individual person's own responsibility to make themselves happy, because everyone, 100%, no exceptions, creates their own realities. And the most empowered position you can put yourself into is to get your nose out of everyone else's business and focus on creating the life that you want for yourself by making your own happiness be the most important thing in your life. And stop worrying about what anyone else is doing and let them live their own lives. And the most powerful and most fun way to help your partner, lover, friends, family, children, and the entire world is to let go of all judgment and let go of all your demands that anyone else needs to change their behavior so that you can feel better. and instead live a completely self-empowered, the most empowered way to live a completely self-empowered life where you create your own happiness and do not rely upon anyone else for your happiness, and you are then happy all the time, and your life is fun and prosperous and exciting because you are living unconditionally. You're an unconditional liver and lover. And other people are then influenced to believe that because of your amazing example of your amazing life, they're influenced to believe that they can also live similarly truly empowered, unconditionally magical, loving, prosperous lives. It's time now to give humanity a break and let them off your demanding judgmental hooks that they must act certain ways so that you can be happy. That means it doesn't matter what your lover does, or your children do, or your parents or siblings do, or what the politicians or clergy do, or what other countries do. None of that has anything to do with you. Their lives are none of your business, because you don't have any control over other people's lives. Judgment and condemnation is absolutely futile anyway, and does not help them or society in any way, because it only adds fuel to the fire, and it's a waste of your unlimited, powerful, creative energy. Attention upon unwanted behavior only attracts more unwanted behavior, which then attracts unwanted behavior in your own life. Unwanted things who are acting like dickheads. Better to focus on wanted, joyful, fun, easy to like, love, and appreciate behavior elsewhere to create and attract similarly joyful behavior in your life from the people in your life. So, I hope you have enjoyed my podcast. Codependence is not love, and it helps you become a truly self-empowered and extremely happy person who attracts totally amazing relationships in your life and helps you influence other people to have similarly ecstatic lives that are full of nonstop joy, love, well-being, and abundance and infinite fulfillment. If you did enjoy it, and how could you not, because it was freaking amazing, share it with your friends, bless them with these amazing teachings to improve the quality of their lives and their relationships. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, my podcast channel, The Master Keys of Creation, and come visit me at ZaKaiRan.com for more self-empowering goodies to help you become a conscious, deliberate creator of reality. My name is ZaKaiRan, and I help success-minded people, joy-minded people, fun-minded people create the happy, abundant lifestyle you love. Thanks again for watching my video or listening to this podcast, and I wish you immense joy and fun and amazing relationships on your magnificent journey of divine creation. And, of course, remember to make life a holiday. Woohoo!